Hey y'all. So I saw a 30% jump over the last 7 days on my website, and I want to tell you how because website traffic is super important to you building your brand, selling your products, services, getting people to find out more information about you and all that stuff. And the good news is the 30% jump on my website. I know exactly why there was a 30% jump on my website. So it's not like an anomaly. It's not like I don't know what I did. Right. And so as I go through this journey, I'm really starting to understand, you don't do a million actions. You do one thing, see if it works, look at the data. If it worked, you keep it. If not, you tweak it, that kind of thing. And so I just want to share with you really quick, just some tips for you to one understand, don't do a million in things. You have your controls, and then you have the one thing that you change, so that if you see results, that the one thing that you did is what worked. I think at the beginning of just learning how to sell and build a brand and all that stuff, I would, if something wasn't working, I would try five things at once, and then I had no idea what worked. So I would say the first tip for those of you trying to build a brand and increase your income is just change one thing at a time. Look at the data, see if it worked, and then you have data that can give you the answers to your questions. So the reason why my website jumped by 30% in 7 days is because those of you who follow me, you know that I got an SEO certificate from UC Davis through the Coursera, I think that's how you say it, Coursera.com website. And I went through and I got my introduction to SEO certificate, and I learned a lot. And so I started to implement a couple of things that I learned around SEO onto my website so that I could see if it actually worked. And here are the things that I did. So I learned that Google search engine looks at synonyms. It looks at synonyms and kind of word associations and relationships. So if I have an academic branding company and I'm trying to reach academics who want to increase their brand, well, there are synonyms that kind of all speak to the same thing. So there's public intellectual, there's thought leader, right? And so my content has to use those terms, because someone might be typing in public intellectual into the search engine, and someone might be typing in thought leader, and Google can recognize synonyms to try to get people the results that they want when they type the thing in to Google. And so I started using those keywords in the new blog posts that I posted to my website. So I posted, I think, 3 or 4 new blog posts in the last 7 days using the new information that I learned around SEO. So using those synonyms. Previously, I wasn't using terms like public intellectual or even thought leader. I was just using like academic branding and professor and like kind of those kind of terms. The other thing that the program taught me was how to use Google Trends. And Google Trends is free. It allows you to see the different keywords and words that are associated with certain queries. And this process is a little more extensive, but basically just spending a few hours doing research around the keywords that people are typing in. So, for example, I learned that one of the popular kind of search queries is like imposter syndrome memes. And that was super important for me because I know that my audience, PhDs, struggle with imposter syndrome. It's something that we talk about all the time. And so if I know that my audience is looking for content around imposter syndrome, Google Trends is telling me that people are searching for memes around imposter syndrome. Well, that told me I needed to create a blog post for academics about imposter syndrome that had memes. And so if you go to my Power Your Research website right now, that is exactly one of the blog posts that are up there. And so using Google Trends to really dig into the keywords that people are searching, and it shows you by location. So I even found out that one of the popular search queries is a TED Talk in like California with location based, TED Talk with like UCLA. And so I could easily turn that into a blog post, and I could do a critique of a TED Talk from a UCLA professor and call it, here's why this TED Talk from this UCLA professor is awesome. And I know that people are already searching for that. And so when people type in their queries in Google, they're going, it's a higher likelihood that my blog post will come up. And so there's a bunch of other things that I implemented in what I learned around SEO. But the key is I tried one thing, which is uploading new blog posts based on this new data that I had, right? I didn't like upload new blog posts and run Facebook ads and do some Google AdSense. I didn't do all that. I just did one thing, 4 new blogs using SEO strategy, and then posted them. And that was the result. So I know that this strategy works. So now all I have to do is replicate that. And that is something that, I can just spend a couple of hours once a month or once every 2 months, probably once a month would be better, researching these key terms, coming up with the topics, and then you can hire a writer to write it for you for your blogs, as long as you give them instruction. So anyway, that's how my website jumped 30% in terms of people coming to the site in 30 days. That's how I did it. I hope that this helps. This is something that all of you out there can do. And again, if you're new here, my name is Dr. Sheena Howard. I'm the founder of Power Your Research, an academic branding company where I help academics and educators increase their visibility, authority, and income without the expense of a publicist.